Welcome everyone to my Astra Yao guide. Astra is the first limited S-rank support and comes from a brand new faction. In this guide, I will go over Astra's kit, her playstyle, drive discs, main and substats, W engines, possible team comps, and finally Mindscapes. Keep in mind that Astra Yao is not yet released, and there is a high likelihood of little changes by the time she's out. And without further ado, let's go over her kit. Astra Yao is an S-rank ether support agent who has the ability to buff your character's attack, crit damage, and damage bonus, and even heal your squad members. Her core skill enhancement bonus will grant her bonus attack and energy recharge, which are the two stats she prioritizes. Astra Yao's special is where her bonus damage and crit damage buffs come from. This special does not require energy. Using Astra's special will allow her to deal ether damage and enter the idyllic cadenza state. This special can also be held to draw in enemies. During the idyllic cadenza state, Astra will not be able to move, although you can still use her basic attack and dodge. Holding the basic attack will also end this state. After entering the idyllic cadenza state, all squad members' crit damage and damage will be increased by 30% and 20% respectively at level 12. This buff scales with the special's level. As part of her special, for each 25 energy Astra currently has, 1 stack of cord can be obtained, as seen under her icon. Having these stacks allows you to trigger a quick assist. As long as you have a stack of cord, a quick assist can be triggered when the active character's attack hits an enemy, triggering once every 3 seconds, or when the active character hits an enemy with a heavy attack, triggering once every second. Using this quick assist will consume a stack of cord. When a character switches in using this quick assist, or through a chain attack, or a defensive or evasive assist, Astra will consume 25 energy and deal ether damage. The quick assist will allow you to stack the Astral Voice Drive disc set's damage bonus, but also activate Astra's core skill, which increases attack. Astra's core skill triggers during the idyllic cadenza state, and when a squad member switches in using a quick assist, chain attack, or a defensive or evasive assist causing Astra to consume energy and deal damage. Only then would Astra and the next character you're switching into receive bonus attack equal to 35% of Astra's initial attack, with a maximum buff of 1200 attack lasting for 20 seconds, which can also be extended by repeated triggers. Astra's ultimate will deal ether damage and heal all squad members based on a flat amount tied to ultimate level. Astra's ultimate would also make her enter the idyllic cadenza state and cause the next 2 quick assists to become chain attacks. Lastly, Astra's faction bonus can be triggered by having either anomaly or attack units in your squad. Her faction bonus would allow her to deal more damage when a quick assist is triggered and energy is consumed. More damage is always nice, but her faction bonus doesn't provide buffs directly valuable to your damage dealer, so not activating Astra's faction bonus should be fine. Before going over her playstyle, Astra provides her buffs through her special and core, and you should definitely prioritize leveling them. Her healing also scales with her ultimate, so you should level that too. As the first limited S-rank support, Astra provides a lot of different buffs. She buffs damage, crit damage, and even attack. Her attack buff can reach a maximum of 1200 attack, lasting for up to 30 seconds, which is greater than both Sukaku and Caesar's attack buffs. Crit damage is always nice to have, and she even provides a universal damage buff, so even anomaly units like Jane Doe can benefit. Astra's quick assist, or quick swap focus playstyle, is great for teams where you do want to switch between characters, like a Miyabi team, where you would want to switch into your second anomaly often, and it works great for characters that can deal a lot of front-loaded damage or damage through chain attacks. Characters that need on-field time to deal the majority of their damage, like Ellen, may not prefer the quick swap playstyle. As an example, Ellen is a character who can deal a lot of damage through her basic attacks, to which she would need some on-field time to use. However, even with such characters, Astra provides a lot of buffs, to the point where even playing characters such as Ellen in quick swap teams is worth it. In comparison to other supports, Astra performs sufficiently as a limited support unit, providing either an upgrade or side grade compared to other supports. In an Ellen team, an M0 Astra with her signature W engine provides slightly better damage in comparison to an M6 Sukaku, who provides attack, ice damage bonus, and even shreds ice resistance. In a Zhu Yuan team, Astra slightly outperforms Nicole, and compared to the other S-rank support, Rina, in a Harumasa team, Astra provides more damage. Overall, Astra is a very universal support agent. Support characters are usually some of the better units to pull for, especially ones who can work in a lot of teams. While Astra doesn't always significantly outperform other supports, she provides a lot of universal buffs and works in many different situations. Not only that, but she also heals, which is definitely welcomed. Moving on to her drive disc sets, her best in slot will be the recently released Astral Voice set. This set's 2-piece bonus increases attack, and the 4-piece bonus will increase damage dealt by the character entering the field, using a quick assist by 8% for 15 seconds. This can stack up to 3 times, for up to 24% bonus damage. This set is meant for Astra, as she enables quick assists and can easily stack this set's bonus. A 4-piece swing jazz could also be used, but it would just provide less damage than Astral Voice. For your 2-piece options, you could use a 2-piece swing jazz for the bonus energy regen. I do want to note that Astra's attack buff from her core skill would require 3,428 attack on Astra to reach the maximum limit. Reaching this target could be difficult without an attack W engine or a lot of attack rolls on your pieces. Because of that, you could also use a 2-piece Hormone Punk for the bonus attack. As for main stats, for your 4th and 5th partition, you would want attack and energy regen for the 6th partition. Astra's attack buff scales with how much attack she has. At core level 6, 35% of Astra's initial attack will be given as bonus attack, with a maximum limit of 1,200 attack. To reach the maximum, Astra would need over 3,400 attack, which can again be difficult to achieve without an attack W engine. It's not the end of the world if you're not able to reach the maximum buff, but you would want to highly prioritize attack on your drive disc pieces. If you're lacking attack, you could also go with an attack 6th partition if you're using an energy regen W engine. As for the rest of the substats, crit rate and damage would also allow her to deal more damage, although these stats are not at all necessary. As for W engines, Astra's best in slot will be her signature W engine, but she definitely does not need it, as she has other strong A-rank alternatives. Keep in mind that this ranking reflects how much a W engine buffs your damage dealer. Elegant Vanity, Astra's signature W engine, has a base attack of 713 and increases energy regen by 60%. As for its effect, when a squad member switches in using a quick assist, chain attack, or other types of assists, the equipping character will gain 5 energy. This effect can trigger once every 5 seconds. If the equipping character consumes 25 or more energy, all characters' damage will be increased by 10% for 20 seconds. This effect can stack twice. Astra's signature has a high base attack, but it doesn't have an attack substat, which might make reaching 3,400 attack difficult. But since it gives so much energy, you could use an attack 6 partition to reach 3,400 attack. Weeping Cradle, the other 5-star support W engine, can work on Astra, but it's not the greatest option to use, since its damage buff only lasts for 3 seconds, and to maintain decent uptime on its effect, Astra would need to frequently attack enemies. Astra has the ability to deal off-field damage, but it's not reliable enough to maintain the effect. Although, You could also just use Weeping Cradle for its high base attack and bonus energy. The same also goes for the Vault, as Astra wouldn't be able to reliably trigger the W Engine's effect. Kaboom the Cannon and Bashful Demon are both very decent options, with both W Engines buffing squad members' attack. Kaboom the Cannon at R5 provides up to 16% bonus attack, with a decent 8-second buff duration. Bashful Demon provides a lower attack buff, albeit lasting for longer. Both weapons are decent options to use, although Kaboom the Cannon should come out ahead due to its buff being easier to stack. Kaboom the Cannon increases energy regen and would need a lot of attack substats to reach 3,400 attack, and because of that, you could use an attack 6th partition instead of energy regen. Unfettered Game Ball, the Battle Pass W Engine, can provide a crit rate buff to your squad members if you attack an enemy with an attribute they're weak to. Astra has the Ether attribute, and to make use of this effect, you would have to fight against Ether-weak enemies such as Ethereals. Astra, being a support who provides universal buffs, can fit into many teams. With a damage dealer like Ellen, you could form a team with both units and a stunner like Lycon, or go with a hyper carry team with Sukaku instead. Ellen's faction bonus requires either a unit from the same faction or an ice unit. Other units wouldn't be able to activate her faction bonus, although an exception to this would be Lighter, who provides a lot of strong buffs to ice units and can be used in such a team, even if Ellen loses her faction bonus. With Zhu Yuan, you could use Astra in place of Nicole, alongside a stunner like Qingyi, or an A-rank option like Anbi. You could also play the same team using an attacker like Harumasa. With an anomaly unit like Jane Doe, you could form a team with Astra alongside your second anomaly unit. In a team with Jane and Bernice, I would usually place Caesar in the last slot, and while using Astra here would provide more damage, the interruption resistance and shield Caesar provides are pretty valuable to have and make the team much easier to play. With Miyabi, you could also form teams with Astra, who would also trigger Miyabi's faction bonus. Alongside Miyabi, you could use a second anomaly such as Yanagi, Bernice, or even Piper. Although she's yet to be released, Evelyn, who shares the same faction as Astra, would have her best teams with Astra, alongside a stunner like Lighter or Qingyi. Although these are just some possible teams, Astra is a support who can fit into many other team comps. Additionally, her faction bonus is not the most important, and you could play her with other units while ignoring her faction bonus. And finally, Mindscapes. Astra's M1 will reduce enemies' resistance by 6% when her attacks hit, stacking up to 3 times and lasting for 30 seconds. It will also grant her 1000 decibels when entering battle, and using her ultimate will grant all squad members a stack of Song of Protection for 60 seconds. This stack will make characters invulnerable for a second after being attacked. Overall, a very decent M1, reducing enemies' resistance and giving the team more survivability. Between getting Astra's signature W engine or her first Mindscape, I would highly recommend going for her M1 first, although it can be more expensive. M2 increases Astra's attack buff by 19%, with the maximum now being 1,600. The 19% increase to the buff makes reaching the maximum buff easier, requiring only 2,962 attack on Astra to reach the 1,600 attack buff. M3 and M5 are both skill level increases. M4 will allow Astra to trigger a quick assist after activating a chain attack or her ultimate, even if she does not have any cords. The cooldown for triggering a chain attack would also be reduced. Additionally, when Astra is in the idyllic cadenza state and a character switches in using a quick assist, the character would receive a different buff depending on their type. For attack characters, they will deal extra damage based on Astra's attack. Anomaly characters will have increased anomaly buildup, and finally, stun units will have increased days. M6 will allow Astra to deal more damage through her follow-up attacks, in the idyllic cadenza state, increasing the attack's damage and crit rate. The effects of M3, M5, and M6 will be much greater if you build Astra to deal more damage, especially M6, which is understated in this ranking. Overall, Astra has strong Mindscapes, especially her M1 and even her M2. But as always, none of them are necessary to get. And that's all from this guide. Thank you for making it till the end, and thank you for watching.